Alright guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the second of two videos today about Traitor Trent. Before you caps lock me to death, Traitor Trent is just the name of the series. It's a bit of banter, a bit tongue-in-cheek, but the actual videos are not malicious in any way. Basically, I'm just reporting what the Spanish media here are saying about Trent since his move to Real Madrid. Some people are interested, some people are not. If you're not interested in Trent because he's no longer a Liverpool player, you do not need to watch a video with his name clearly in the title. So, for those of you that are interested, which includes me, we are going to look at some comments from Steve McManaman in an interview with AS today, which is a pro-Real Madrid publication based in Madrid. It's basically his comments are more about Real Madrid in general. It wasn't an interview he gave about Trent, but he was asked specifically about Trent in the interview, and I'm going to give you his words. All right, we don't need any analysis from Dave on this one. So this is basically what Steve McManaman's had to say about Trent. What does a move like Trent's mean? I think the difference between the clubs isn't that big. Liverpool is a huge club with an immense history, and so is Real Madrid. Both are very familiar once you're inside. If I went back tomorrow to Real Madrid, some of the staff would be the same as when I played there 25 years ago. From the outside, people think Madrid is implacable, but inside, it's very familiar. The real change for Trent will be the city, the culture, the language, the lifestyle, but he loves it. Football-wise, the adaptation won't be huge. Lots of people speak English, which will help him, and he'll settle quickly. In the end, he'll be judged by how he plays, and Trent is a fantastic footballer, so I don't think he'll have problems. Have you given Trent any advice? I'm always sceptical of foreign players coming to the Premier League. Even if they speak the language, they need time to integrate, and you never know about their family life, if they have kids to get into school, etc. The only thing I'd say is get settled quickly. Find somewhere to live. The last thing you want is to spend months in hotels living out of suitcases. You need a real home, a base, somewhere to sleep well. Starting to sound like Brendan Rodgers, isn't he? Sleep well. And focus on training. Sleep well, eat well. Fantastic. So settle in and adapt as soon as possible. He has friends like Jude from the England team, and Xabi has his own Liverpool history. So he knows he can talk with him about anything. There are several players who speak English, so it should be much easier for him to adapt. How do you handle media criticism? Is it as harsh in England as here in Spain? It's tough, isn't it? In England, we have lots of newspapers, but not sports ones, not sports dailies. Here, the first 10 pages of those sports dailies are about breakfast, new cars, haircuts, analysing in detail how you play, train, what happens before, because they need to fill pages every day, even when there is no match. It's very intense, but that's how it is. Now with social media, everything's crazy, right? Everyone has an opinion on everything. The most important thing is to succeed. Last year, Madrid finished second. They lost a couple of finals, and that's why the criticism was harsh. That's how it is here too. You either win or it's a failure, and it's always one team or the other. Pressure is there every season, and it's part of the territory. It happened to Gareth Bale, but only after 6 or 7 years. The first 5 were glorious, then injuries and playing with Wales came into it. But I think players should be able to handle it. You don't win every game. It's normal to expect some criticism, but as long as you work hard and try, that's what matters most. And that is former Liverpool winger Steve McManaman giving some insight into playing for Real Madrid. Many people tried to make comparisons between McManaman and Trent, leaving on free transfers and things like that. I think the McManaman one's different because Liverpool were doing nothing. They were going nowhere. Trent left a team that was at the peak. McManaman didn't leave a team at the peak. And, you know, there was all sorts of rumours at the time. I think it was David Moores that was the chairman, who had apparently offered Steve McManaman a particular contract, which Steve McManaman wanted to sign, but then you turned on it and said the board won't approve it. I have to withdraw it. And that is the claim from back then as to what sparked Steve McManaman leaving. I'm sure there's people with other versions or whatever. It's irrelevant to me, really. Steve McManaman was a brilliant player for Liverpool Football Club. John Barnes has always been my favourite player for Liverpool Football Club and probably always will be. But when Digger, when Barnes came to the end of his career, Steve McManaman was the one that took over from him and was the next best thing. And they were both outstanding players. They really were. And whether you've got time for McManaman or Trent or whatever, it's irrelevant really. I just want to give you some insight into what's being said in the Spanish media. Obviously, my previous upload today was positive about Trent following weeks of heavy criticism here, despite not having a bad game. He's not played brilliantly, but the press have been intense with it. And if you watch the Traitor Trent series, you will see that. So it's interesting that they're trying to be a bit nice to him at the moment, but it doesn't necessarily last. And like he said, the media in Spain are intense, because they've got to fill these newspapers. I've always wondered why England doesn't have every day I read these papers for you. I call them football dailies, but really there is other sports in them as well. But let's just say it's very minimal coverage. That right through the first few pages, 70, 80, 90% is football. And there's 4 of them that I review. And there are others as well, not as big. Yet in England, we don't have anything. Do you have any reason why that is, guys? Can you suggest one? I mean, people don't buy newspapers maybe more. I do feel like Spain sometimes is still a bit like the 80s. It's a little bit behind with things. I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean it in a nice way, because the 80s was fucking great. In other words, you can walk the streets here and teenagers, and you can walk past them not feeling intimidated. So you looking at you, oh fuck, you know what I mean? Just nice. But I've always, since I've been following all these papers, I always think I would love a football daily in England. I think it'd sell me. I do. I'm very surprised. I mean, you've got the Athletic, which is all sports, but that's all online, and I don't think you can beat a physical newspaper, to be honest with you. Anyway, I'll leave it to you. I just want to tell you what Macca had to say. All right, I'll leave it with you guys. If you found the video informative, please thumbs up the video. Please drop me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. And if you want to buy me a beer, I'm going out today, or a coffee, there is a love heart under the video. It's called a super thanks. I always give a shout out to anyone that does do that in my morning briefings the next day, usually. Those morning briefings go on my YouTube channel, the Duncan Oldham channel. The link is in the video description of this video, and it should also pop up on the screen somewhere. I don't know if I've set it up right. I have no idea. All right, guys, be good. Have a great weekend. I don't think you'll see any more of me today. I'm going to have a live stream. It's very quiet. It's the international break. I'm not going to make videos for the sake of doing so. Yeah, that's it. I'll speak to you later. Have a great weekend. Maybe might get one more out yet. I don't know. I've got to go live soon. Okay, guys, take care.